One of the biggest things for me is I'm a perfectionist. I try to relay that to my students, but I also need to let them get to that point.
How does broadcasting help students with their communication skills?
Within the team even, anybody who's done a multicam knows you got to talk. I've had teams that I'm like, you have to talk. And then this year it was more like, you guys need to stop talking. Our AD, his concern was, I don't want to pay for it. I'll find the money. And then after that, it was, okay, now I have no idea what to buy. You do something like this and I enjoy it so much. I'm like, why didn't I just do this?
Hey everyone, excited to be back with another educator conversation. Today, I'm excited to be joined by Ryan Smith, who's in his 8th year at Grand Island Central Catholic Schools in Grand Island, Nebraska. He might be our only chemistry and physical science teacher who leads a program, but he's built a fantastic student broadcast and digital media program there. Welcome to the show, Ryan.
Thank you.
Yeah, excited to dive in. In these, we go quick. What are the 3 most important things for a broadcasting and digital media teacher to know when starting a program? If you can go back, has it been 5-6 years since you started?
I only know this because it's still my computer password, but we started it in 2018. I haven't changed that password yet, so I know that. So yeah, it's been a few years, come a long way. We didn't have a class to start with. But when you do have a class, I guess for me and kind of my situation here, the main thing for me, at least the top one, is it's a time commitment. Not only do I have planning and preparation for science, then I throw in planning and preparation for this and all the activities. So if you're going to start a program, I think time commitment it's got to be top on the list. Being flexible. We have a lot of people here that need things streamed or ask me, and trying to be flexible with them and understand where they're coming from. I've had to learn a lot about that. We share sports with some other schools, so trying to plan around some of that stuff as well. And then the third thing I wrote down is let the kids learn, let them make mistakes. I have one of the biggest things for me is I'm a perfectionist. I want things done a certain way. And I try to relay that to my students. Like, it's got to be done this way, but I also need to let them get to that point instead of trying to take over or say, well, let me show you how to do it every single time. Just let them make that mistake. I've tried to communicate with the people that watch, at least from GICC, that these kids are amateurs and this might be their first year doing it. So that's been more for me than anybody else, but just letting them do it and learn as they go.
Yeah, it's an educational experience first. Second
Yes.
is thinking about the audience and what they're viewing, but those
Right.
lines get blurred pretty quickly, as we know, and the production value has gone up, and you guys have invested a lot in your guys' production and have some really great students. They're part of that have helped at several different events. With that, how does broadcasting, and not just the announcing part, but everything that goes into a production, help students with their communication skills, do you think?
Well, first, the kids that talk have to learn how to say what they're saying effectively. And I think that's probably one of our, I guess, best things we do with our production is we've been blessed with some really good commentators, and they just keep coming. It's just every year we lose one, and I'm like, what am I going to do? And somebody else comes along. So we've been blessed with those kids, good speech kids that may have played the sport and then decided to stop playing. And within the team, I think it helps them communicate. One, scheduling, who can be at this game. You got to let me know so I can decide, hey, do we have enough for 3 cameras or just 2? Do we need to strip it down to 1 camera? Am I going to have commentators? So one, scheduling, can they communicate that with me? And then within the team, even anybody who's done a multicam knows you got to talk. And it's amazing how some of the kids who don't talk end up being some of your best communicators. And it's fun to see them work and communicate with each other. It changes every year. I've had teams that I'm like, you have to talk. And then this year it was more like, you guys need to stop talking. Like, I need the
Cut it off.
communication about the game, not you're not analyzing the game on the
Mm,
headset for me. So I think just
very, yeah.
communicating effectively with each other and knowing how to do that within a job.
And I haven't asked previous guests this, but just popped in my head as you really focused on that in scheduling and all of that. What tools are you using? Is that email, text, Google Classroom? How are you communicating with them with all the different moving parts?
So I kind of dual it with Google Classroom, and then I have a spreadsheet, and I try to trust my kids to edit that spreadsheet and not mess it up. So I post that on Google Classroom. The start of the fall season, I've got the schedules. I put in all the football and volleyball games because right now we do just varsity. So kids can sign up for that, and then separately for JV, middle school, and all that, we schedule those onto Huddle to go to YouTube.
Hmm.
So we have a team that's in charge of that. But yeah, they kind of look at their work schedules because I have a lot of kids that are either involved in an activity. They might be a football player, so they got to look to see what volleyball games they can help with, or if they have a job, which days they can be there and which ones they can't. Just kind of helps one them communicate, and two me decide how much we can do with the broadcast for every game.
Yeah, yeah. How are you going to staff it if you have enough to do all the cameras that you guys have?
Right.
Make sure your announcers are there. I think that's really good. Hopefully, our audiences, other educators, administrators, athletic directors that are watching this that want to invest and build their program. I think that's really key is that communications piece. Students, as a result, are learning how to collaborate together with a team. So I really like that. When you think about students, I know you've had an incredibly talented student. You guys did a documentary, which we're not going to. We did a whole nother video on that. You guys can go watch
Yep.
that. Maybe Hoosier, you can put the link to the in the show notes to that. But how have you seen students transform through the active content creation in a school environment?
Yeah. So I kind of jotted down two things. The first is to me, throughout the course of the year, trying to build some of that, whether it's Photoshop, Premiere, whatever we're trying to do with the kid. It's amazing how much pride comes out in their work and for their school and their
Mm.
classmates that they're shooting a video for, doing a graphic for. It's always fun when they're like, "No, I got to do it better." And so for me, that's the main thing I like to see is that. And then um, I also put down and I don't know if it's me or if other teachers do this, but I force kids to do a lot of things that they're reluctant to do at first. That's how I got three of my best commentators in the past. Was they're just sitting up there looking at all the equipment, and I said, "Put the headset on." And then I told them they weren't live, but they were. And it was a JV game, so I didn't feel too bad about it. But and then the
That is
kid afterwards
awesome.
was like, "That wasn't too bad," and I was like, "Yeah, you know the sport. Just you're just talking. You're just having a conversation." Um, so, and a lot of kids I get that way. Just you see them up there. They're not in an activity at the time, and I walk by them in the hallway and just, hey, come up here. I got a job for you. So, I don't know if anybody else does that, but I do a lot of recruiting in the hallways, so it's been helpful.
Yeah, that's not a question. We've talked about that in the past of how you recruit students, but I'm really glad you mentioned that. I love that you're pushing them outside their comfort zone, right? I do think a lot of times we tiptoe around, oh, this is the student interested or what? You gotta kind of push them and let them go, and you've seen the fruits of that, which is really
Yeah.
incredible. I love that. How do you think the things that you've done with your students has helped prepare them to be ready for the what we're calling a digital workforce, the skills that they've developed through this?
Yeah. So I think the main thing is I would say mostly all of them are more comfortable around digital content, and whether that's just basically using a computer or being able to make a graphic. I mean, anywhere you look, I think there's probably studies out there somewhere. You scroll through Facebook or any site like that, and people stop for the pictures. So making those infographics and stuff like that, even if they have basic knowledge of Photoshop, it's helpful. Short videos are becoming very popular, so we're trying to push that more. I didn't, unfortunately, have a video kid this year. I had some Photoshop kids, but nobody really got the Premiere bug, so we missed Michael for that. Um, and then just kind of working through any stream, they get to work in a stressful environment because, especially with basketball is very fast paced. It's a lot more stressful for camera operators and stuff like that. So they get to kind of work in that environment and then problem solve. Stuff does not work every game. We've had that really bad this year. We had both capture cards go down at the same time. Northwest helped us out. We had to stream 2 gyms and we only had 1 capture card, and they helped us out for the other gym. We had a SWIT go down because Hoosier couldn't fix it. So just going through that with kids, like, okay, this doesn't work. Now what do we do?
Yeah.
And so just thinking on their feet, coming up with ideas. We've had some interesting ones over the years, like, well, let's do this, and we try it and see how it works. And then watching them plan and prepare. We've got graduation coming up, so I've got 3 kids that are going to be helping with that, and they've been walking around the gym for about a week now. Just where do we put the cameras to get the best shots for graduation? Where do we put our microphones to get the sound? So just kind of seeing them think through that is nice to see.
Yeah, that's problem solving skills, critical thinking in that element. That's really great. I love that. And apologies, we couldn't help. Sometimes, the equipment fails.
Sometimes it goes bad.
And you've got to adjust. And so great that you have other schools that have some of that to be able to help you out. Which kind of leads to, before I get to that section, I want to go back, and we're going off script a little bit, but some really good content. You coming into this as a science teacher, teaching chemistry, to leading broadcasting and digital media. What was that process like? I know Colleen, I get to give Colleen Childers a shout out. She helped at Northwest and then came over to GICC. I know she helped you a lot. But was it something you were drawn to, or you had to be forced into? Like, take me back to that in 2018.
Yeah, I was just talking about this with my wife. When I came to GICC, I was at 2 previous schools, and doing something like this was never on the radar. When I came here, I was not coaching like I was at the previous schools, but I was frustrated with, I don't know what's going on. And I don't like not knowing what's going on. So not a lot of schools had streaming. We didn't have streaming, but we had great facilities to do it. So I approached our AD, Howard Schumann, at the time, and his concern was, I don't want to pay for it. So then it came down to, I'll find the money, which I did, thanks to 5 Points Bank. They're always really good to us. And I found the money, and then after that, it was, okay, now I have no idea what to buy. When that's where Colleen came in. She said, well, here's what you need. Here's the basics. So we started with a camera, the computer I'm using right now, and a soundboard, and I think 2 headsets. And we could fit it all in a backpack, and I still remember that. I have one kid who's a senior this year who was with me in middle school when we started that. He may have even been like a 6th grader.
Wow.
And even to this day, like all the equipment and stuff we can do now, he goes, remember when we had a backpack? And I said, yes, I do.
It's very simple.
Yeah. So, I mean, it kind of started with, I don't like not being able to tell how our team's doing at York when they're there, or, well, I think York probably had it, but, and then I was like, I know people that, especially at this school with grandparents that don't live in the area. I was like, I would be frustrated if, I had to wait 2 days to find anything out. So that's kind of how it started. And then it just very quickly evolved into multi-camera productions and podcasting. Well, we tried podcasting. It didn't really take off this year, but hopefully next year. And yeah, now I'm just in it. I love it. I wish I had more time. I don't think I'm ever going to get more time, but it's kind of like, you do something like this and I enjoy it so much. I'm like, why didn't I just do this? But I didn't know anything about this when I was in high school. This didn't exist. So I'm glad I can pass this on to kids. And there's a lot of kids interested that are using what they've learned here to go into their next field. I'm thinking maybe Trenton Turek might be the only one who wants to do like broadcasting and commentating specifically, but I've had a lot of others that do something where they want to be talking and communicating, whether that's with businesses or somewhere else. So it's just nice to see that it's made an impact.
Yeah, incredible. It's rewarding. Not that what you're teaching them in chemistry isn't. Like, there's some students probably going that you've taught are going to be doctors, right? And doing some
we get a lot of those.
It's a different field, and so we're super thankful that you've invested the time that it takes. And I think that's why we're doing these. Is start simple, start with the backpack, and that's where you start. And now in 2024, you have multicam. You've integrated your video board into this. You guys did a documentary. That didn't happen in 2018. It takes time. It takes different types of students. I love how you mentioned you didn't have any Premiere students this year. You had Photoshop. That happens. And so hopefully that's an encouragement to the educators watching this. So I always like to close with kind of a humble, shameless brag about ourselves. But we've worked with you, how's the training, the resources, support, the events, that your students have got to come to at State? How's that? What's that meant to you in building this program?
Yeah, well, for me, not having a background, it's meant everything. I didn't know probably 98% of the stuff I know now when I started it. I just wanted it to happen. And so without Striv, if I had tried to do this any other way, I probably would have stopped after that first year. But having Striv with the ability to come to our classroom or come to the gym and say, well, here's what you need to do, here's the settings, has made a huge difference in the quality that we can produce. And my kids just live for the State events. They love helping. We always say we get to use the good toys when we go there. Except for football, we had to travel. They actually enjoyed that. That was the most fun we've ever had, was doing the 6-man football game.
Nice.
And my kids are researching the rules for the week leading up to that because they had never seen one. So, here we talked about it last year. My administrators were like, can we save money and do this elsewhere? And I was like, yeah, but I'm not going to. And I kind of told them, like, if I'm involved, we do Striv, because if something breaks or goes wrong, I have no idea what I'm doing. I've learned a little bit, but I still, I don't even think I knew what an HDMI cord was when I started. So I was Googling all the things. So I'm not ashamed to say I didn't know anything, and I've learned a lot thanks to you guys, and especially the Striv Education piece has really made a difference in what our kids can do throughout the year.
Yeah, I love that. You're a great example, and that's why we're doing these interviews, is just to dive in and share how the students have been impacted by how you have been impacted too. And really love your story, Ryan, and thank you for all the time. And we'll be heading your way here in a couple weeks for the All-Star game at GICC. And so that's always a fun event. And the State events are great. And so really appreciate it. I might
actually be in town this time.
Okay, I know you missed the last couple. So hopefully we can get you there. We have some new toys, so you can check those out. I'm sure we'll do replay and all the fun things. So
I told Hoosier that I'd get him the elevator key this year, so he doesn't have to take everything up the big flight of stairs.
He will appreciate that. He'll love watching this as he edits it. So thanks again, Ryan, for what you're doing at GICC.
Yep. Thanks, Taylor.